everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today's video is on the White House. The White House is the best-known residence in the nation, and a few of its famous residents are rumored to be long-term tenants. Ghost stories have been part of the Executive Mansion's heritage for over a century. Let's take a look at the top stories passed down from people who claim to have been bumped into some departed presidents and others. Number 1. Lincoln's ghost. There may have been more sightings of Abraham Lincoln's spirit than presidents who inhabited the White House, and some reports seem to be in jest. But there are a lot of reports from workers at the White House, and even Winston Churchill, that they bumped into Lincoln wandering the building years after his death. Lincoln was shot at Ford's Theater in 1865 and died at a nearby boarding house. But it is his spirit that is reportedly stuck at the White House, where he planned the Civil War and had started planning reconciliation when he was killed just days after Robert E. Lee's surrender. The most famous Lincoln story is from Churchill, who was staying at the residence after World War II. The British leader had just emerged from a bath, wearing nothing and smoking a cigar. He reportedly met the late president. "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage," Churchill allegedly said. He also refused to stay in the room after the encounter. Number 2. Jackson's ghost. Another famous president who still could be seeking a longer term in the White House is Andrew Jackson. Though reportedly encounters with Old Hickory are not sightings but hearings. And what people reportedly hear from Jackson is a lot of cursing from the 19th century president. One person who believed Jackson's spirit remained in the White House was Mary Todd Lincoln, who held regular seances there after her son Willie died. There was also a reported Jackson encounter during the administration of President Dwight Eisenhower. Number 3. Abigail Adams. John Adams' wife only stayed at the White House for a few months as its first occupant, along with her husband. Thomas Jefferson was the first president to spend a full term at the residence. But some people believe Abigail Adams returns for an occasional visit to supervise the laundry. Miss Adams used the East Room to hang out her laundry in 1800. A sighting of her was reported there during the Taft administration about 112 years later, when an apparition was seen carrying clothes in its arms. Number 4. Dolly Madison. The irrepressible Dolly Madison is best known today for rescuing the Gilbert Stuart painting of George Washington from the White House before the British burned it down during the War of 1812. But in ghost lore, she's best known for reportedly encountering 2 gardeners during the Wilson administration a century later. First Lady Edith Wilson asked the 2 to move the fabled rose garden, which Madison had created and nurtured. The gardeners were reportedly met by an angry Dolly. Today, the rose garden remains where Dolly Madison wanted it. Number 5. The British fire starter. The most traumatic incident in White House history was its destruction by British troops in 1814. A royal soldier apparently died in the attack after he helped set fire to the White House, and there were reports he occasionally returns to finish the job. One incident was reported a few years after the Trump-era restoration, where the spirit was seen trying to set a bed on fire. Also, there was a major fire in the West Wing during the Hoover administration on Christmas Eve in 1929. Officially, it was a clogged fireplace flue that started the blaze. Even today, recent White House staffers reported hearing strange noises late at night in the White House. But there's one president who probably hasn't come back for a guest appearance. James Buchanan, openly tired of being president as the Civil War grew near. Lincoln's ghost, otherwise known as the White House ghost, is said to have haunted the White House since his assassination in 1865. Lincoln's ghost has also been said to haunt many of his former residences in Springfield, Illinois, including his former law office. The White House's most famous alleged apparition is that of Abraham Lincoln. One of Mumler's most famous photographs apparently shows Mary Todd Lincoln with the ghost of her husband Abraham Lincoln. Paranormal researcher Melvin Willen, in his book Ghost Caught on Film, claims that the photo was taken around 1869 after Abraham Lincoln's death, and that Mumler did not know that his sitter was Lincoln, instead believing her to be a Miss Tundle. Willen goes on to say that Mumler did not discover who she was until after the photo was developed. The College of Psychic Studies, referencing notes belonging to William Stanton Moses, who has appeared in photographs by other spirit photographers, claims that the photo was taken in the early 1870s. Lincoln had assumed the name of Miss Lindell, and that Lincoln had to be encouraged by Mumler's wife, a medium, to identify her husband on the photo. Though the image has been dismissed as being accidentally double exposure, it has been widely circulated. Eleanor Roosevelt never admitted to having seen Lincoln's ghost, but did say that she felt his presence repeatedly throughout the White House. She also said that the Roosevelt family dog, Fala, would sometimes bark for no reason at what she felt was Lincoln's ghost. President Dwight Eisenhower's press secretary, James Haggerty, and Liz Carpenter, press secretary to First Lady Lady Bird Johnson, both said that they felt Lincoln's presence many times. The former president's footsteps are also said to be heard in the hall outside Lincoln's bedroom. Lillian Rogers Parks stated in her 1961 autobiography, My 30 Years Backstairs at the White House, that she had heard them. Margaret Truman, daughter of President Harry S. Truman, said she heard a specter rapping at the door of the Lincoln bedroom when she stayed there, and believed it was Lincoln. President Truman himself was once awakened by raps at the door while spending a night in the Lincoln bedroom. Several unnamed eyewitnesses have claimed to have seen the shade of Abraham Lincoln actually lying down on the bed in the Lincoln bedroom, which was used as a meeting room at the time of his administration. And while others have seen Lincoln sit on the edge of the bed and put his boots on. The most famous eyewitness to the latter was Mary Eben, Eleanor Roosevelt's secretary, who saw Lincoln pulling on his boots, after which she ran screaming from the room. Others have actually seen an apparition of the former president. The first person reported to have actually seen Lincoln's spirit was First Lady Grace Coolidge, who said she saw the ghost of Lincoln standing at a window in the yellow Oval Room, staring out at the Potomac. Theodore Roosevelt and Maureen Reagan and her husband have all claimed to have seen a spectral Lincoln in the White House. A number of staff members of the Franklin D. Roosevelt administration claimed to have seen Lincoln's spirit. And on one occasion, Roosevelt's personal valet ran screaming from the White House, claiming he had seen Lincoln's ghost. Perhaps the most famous incident was in 1942, when Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands allegedly heard footsteps outside her White House bedroom and answered a knock on the door, only to see Lincoln in frock coat and top hat standing in front of her. She promptly fainted. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill loved to retire late, take a long, hot bath while drinking a scotch, and smoke a cigar and relax. There is an account that on his occasion, he climbed out of the bath, naked, but for his cigar, walked into the adjoining bedroom. He was startled to see Lincoln standing by the fireplace in the room, leaning on the mantel. Churchill, always quick on the uptake, simply took his cigar out of his mouth, tapped the ash off the end of the cigar, and said, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage." Lincoln smiled softly, as if laughing, and disappeared. Churchill smiled in embarrassment. Lincoln's ghost was reportedly seen outside of the White House as well. In Loudonville, New York, Lincoln's ghost has said to haunt a house that was owned by a woman who was present at Ford's Theater when Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth. Other Lincoln hauntings include his grave in Springfield, Illinois, a portrait of Mary Todd Lincoln, and a phantom train on nights in April along the same path his funeral train followed from Washington, D.C. to Springfield. The last reported sighting of Lincoln's ghost was in the early 1980s, when Tony Savoy, White House operations foreman, came into the White House and saw Lincoln sitting in a chair at the top of some stairs. Abraham Lincoln is not the only Lincoln ghost witnesses claim to have seen in the White House. Willie Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's 11-year-old son, died in the White House of typhoid on February 20th, 1862. Willie Lincoln's ghost was first reported to have been seen in the White House by staff members of the Grant administration in the 1870s, but reports have been made as recently as the 1960s. President Lyndon B. Johnson's college-age daughter, Linda Bird Johnson Robb, claims to have seen the ghost and talked to him. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. What paranormal or crime-related mystery would you like to see next? I hope you all have a great day.